Hold on to your seats because what I'm about to tell you will make you question everything you thought you knew about fame, family, and the so-called King of the South. Picture this: cameras flashing, reporters buzzing, a courtroom so tense you could cut the air with a knife. And then bam, the unthinkable happens. T.I., the rap mogul, the self-proclaimed street philosopher, the man who once branded himself as untouchable, is suddenly at the center of a scandal so outrageous it sounds like a badly written Netflix drama. And guess who's right there with him? None other than his son, King Harris, the heir to the Harris dynasty, who's been flaunting his flashy lifestyle as if the rules of the world simply didn't apply. You thought this family was messy before? Think again, because leaked courtroom footage just surfaced. And it doesn't show teary testimony or a heated argument. It allegedly shows father and son in the middle of a gun deal. Yes, a gun deal. Inside a courtroom. With cameras rolling? Who does that? Is this the boldest display of arrogance we've ever seen? Or the most perfectly timed setup in hip-hop history? Either way, the internet isn't ready. When you think of hip-hop royalty, certain names instantly pop up: icons who've built empires off rhythm, rhymes, and a carefully curated image of street credibility mixed with family values. But today, one of those so-called dynasties is unraveling before our very eyes. Enter Clifford Harris Jr., better known to the world as T.I., the King of the South, the mogul who once sold the redemption story of a lifetime. And right next to him, his son, King Harris, a young man who seems to believe that flashing designer chains and crashing luxury cars automatically earns him the title of Atlanta's next big thing. Together, they've built a brand soaked in both fame and controversy. But here's the twist: everything they worked so hard to paint as glamorous is now being shredded apart, thanks to a leaked video that nobody can stop talking about. The footage allegedly shows T.I. and King Harris in a courtroom, not defending themselves, not fighting for justice, but engaged in what looks suspiciously like a gun exchange. Yes, you heard me right, an exchange in the middle of the very institution designed to punish such behavior. Imagine the arrogance, the sheer audacity of pulling something like this in front of cameras, judges, and reporters. It's not just scandalous, it's the stuff viral nightmares are made of. And let's be honest, this isn't exactly coming out of nowhere. T.I.'s history is littered with red flags. Remember back in 2007 when he was convicted for illegal possession of firearms? That was supposed to be the wake-up call, the turning point, the lesson that turned him into a poster boy for second chances. Instead, it feels like Dacia Vu Wanli this time. He's dragging his own son down the same dangerous path. King Harris didn't just inherit his father's name. He seems to have inherited the same reckless appetite for controversy. From speeding tickets and reckless stunts in luxury cars to his constant online rants and viral meltdowns. King has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And now his name is tied to the most explosive scandal in hip-hop this year. The leaked footage grainy, shaky but damning has already made its way across every gossip blog, every Twitter thread, every Instagram reel, and people are stunned. How did a courtroom, one of the most surveilled and scrutinized spaces, turn into the backdrop of what looks like a low-budget gangster movie? Were T.I. and King so convinced of their invincibility that they thought no one would notice? Arand, here's the million-dollar question: was this all staged? It's part of a bigger setup orchestrated by enemies who have been waiting years to see the Harris family fall. That's the dangerous beauty of this scandal. It doesn't just expose, it invites speculation. And speculation is the fuel that keeps scandals alive. As fans and haters alike dissect every frame of that footage, one thing becomes painfully clear. The Harris legacy is dangling by a thread, and the scissors are already halfway through. And just when you think it can't possibly get any worse. For the Harris family, the details surrounding this so-called courtroom gun deal start to unravel like a badly sewn costume at a reality TV reunion. Because the leaked footage is only the beginning. The whispers, the anonymous sources, the so-called insiders are what's really driving this scandal straight into the stratosphere. According to reports floating around in the darker corners of the internet, this wasn't just a one-time slip-up. Oh no, the word is that T.I. and King Harris have allegedly been running in circles far shadier than the public ever imagined. We're talking about gun smuggling rings, payoffs to crooked officials, and a lifestyle fueled by more than just platinum records and Instagram sponsorships. One source, claiming to be a former associate of the Harris family, dropped a line so juicy it practically broke the gossip forum's tea. "I wasn't just playing king in the rap game. He was running an underground empire, and the king was being groomed to take over." Now, whether that's true or just another internet user chasing clout, it doesn't really matter. The damage is done. People believe it. And in the world of celebrity scandals, perception is everything. Meanwhile, King Harris is hardly helping his own case, while the footage continues to dominate headlines. He's been spotted flaunting his trademark designer outfits, sunglasses indoors, and that smug attitude that screams, "I'm untouchable." Social media has been brutal. Memes are flying left and right, King handing off toy guns in courtroom skits. T.I. edited into video game cutscenes, the whole 9 yards. Public opinion is split, of course. On one side, diehard fans are screaming, insisting that the Harris family is being targeted by jealous rivals or even the government itself. On the other, critics are calling it karma. A long overdue reckoning for a family that's been playing both sides of fame and street life for far too long. And let's not ignore the timing. That's what has conspiracy theorists frothing at the mouth. Why now? Why would such explosive footage just happen to leak during an already tense court battle? Was it planted by an old enemy? Was it released by law enforcement to sway public opinion before legal proceedings? Or on this one's gaining traction, was it leaked by someone inside the Harris circle? A mole, maybe even a family member, looking to burn the dynasty from within. Because let's face it, the Harris household isn't exactly a picture of harmony. Behind the glitz and glamour, there have always been cracks, infidelity, rumors, public fights, and more drama than a season of love and hip-hop. The more this scandal snowballs, the harder it becomes to separate fact from fiction. But that's exactly what makes it so addictive. Every new rumor, every anonymous tweet, every half-baked blog post adds fuel to the fire. And with T.I.'s past convictions hanging over him like a shadow, and King's reckless persona only amplifying the chaos, the court of public opinion has already reached its verdict. Guilty, guilty, guilty. But here's the kicker, the legal system hasn't even fully weighed in yet. And that's where things get really messy. So now, with the footage out in the wild and the rumor mill working overtime, the million-dollar question becomes, what happens next? Because scandals like this don't just fade away quietly. No, they explode into something bigger, especially when you've got a rap mogul like T.I. and his hot-headed heir, King Harris, right in the middle of it. Legal experts are already circling like vultures, dissecting every frame of the leaked footage and speculating on possible charges. Illegal possession, conspiracy, tampering with court proceedings. The list of potential charges reads like a rap sheet longer than T.I.'s discography. But let's not forget the other fallout, the financial one. Sponsors don't like heat, and this is a bonfire. Reports are swirling that brands once eager to slap their logos on Harris projects are suddenly ghosting. Endorsement deals are allegedly on pause. Partnerships are under review. And a few have quietly pulled the plug altogether. You know it's bad when even the sneaker companies don't want to touch you. And fans, they're fickle. One week they're chanting your lyrics at festivals. The next they're canceling pre-orders and trashing your name in comments. It's the double-edged sword of fame. The higher you climb, the harder you fall. Land right now. The Harris empire is free-falling. And then there's the political angle. Because whenever there's controversy this loud, you can bet lawmakers want their piece of the spotlight. Already, whispers of a full investigation into celebrity gun culture are making the rounds. Some are calling for congressional hearings. Others are demanding crackdowns on influencer crime. Imagine that. T.I. and King unintentionally sparking a government-level debate. It would almost be funny if the consequences weren't so devastating almost. But The drama doesn't stop with the courts and politicians. Inside the Harris family, the pressure cooker is reaching critical mass. Tabloids are reporting screaming matches behind closed doors, accusations flying left and right. Even whispers that certain family members are considering distancing themselves to protect their own reputations. Think about it. The same family that once branded themselves as reality TV royalty is now eating itself alive in the public eye. The dynasty is crumbling, and everyone can see the cracks. And yet, here's the ironic twist. Scandals like this, as destructive as they are, can also cement a legacy. Because whether you love them or hate them, you're talking about them. You're sharing the footage, debating the theories, dissecting the memes. The Harris name isn't fading into obscurity, it's burning brighter than ever, even if it's for all the wrong reasons. And that's the thing about celebrity scandals. They're not about truth, they're about attention. And right now, T.I. and King Harris have the world's full attention. So as we stand on the edge of whatever comes next, whether it's arrests, lawsuits, or some miraculous comeback to earth, only certainty is this: the story isn't over. The footage may have leaked, but the fallout is just beginning. What do you think? Are T.I. and King Harris victims of a setup? Or are we finally seeing their empire crack wide open? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because the next leak could be even crazier than this one.